Across the world, the fight for religious freedom continues. The International Religious Freedom Summit is where global leaders, activists, and changemakers unite to advance the cause. This year's summit centered on critical discussions about securing religious freedom in various regions, with a focus on addressing challenges such as authoritarian regimes and migration. Key conversations included advancing policy reforms, fostering interfaith alliances, and empowering activists to drive real change at the grassroots level. And this time, Sri Lanka was part of this conversation. Our national director was invited to speak at one of the panels, sharing insights on forging the next generation of freedom of religion and belief champions, key strategies to advance and protect the freedom of religion and belief movement. Here is what she had to say.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So just to give a quick introduction of my country, where I'm coming from. Yesterday we celebrated the 77th Independence Day of the beautiful island nation, Sri Lanka. Out of all the good things I can talk about, maybe I will talk about the infamous things that's not often spoken about. So over the last 7 decades, we have had multiple cycles of violence. Approximately at least every 15 years, there is a violent outburst, and including a 3-decade of civil war. I was born toward the latter part of the civil war. To date, my father would not speak in our mother tongue, which is Tamil, in public places, just purely out of the fear as a result of the war. In 2009, the year war ended, I was first introduced to this platform organized by Sri Lanka Unites, that brought together hundreds of young people from across the country, and a lot of life-changing things began there. Fast forward, over the last 15 years, I have been a part of this movement as a student, the first conference, and a leader we call it the Dream Team, then the Junior Team, and multiple voluntary roles, including obviously studies and career. I came back as board of director, chairing HR and KPI, and now just over the last 3 years functioning as the national director of the movement. This is a typical life cycle of a young person that enters this organization. This is something that they go through. Obviously not something that's enforced, but obviously if there is a, it has to be a two-way thing. A person comes in, goes through this entire process, and then it's hard to make that person into a weapon, right? So this is a tried and tested approach. Why we need this is to date, over 70% of a young person in Sri Lanka do not have a friend outside of their community or religion, ethnicity, no matter what. So, over the last 18 years, I am just one product. We have produced thousands, hundreds and thousands of young people. And today we stand as the largest grassroots youth-led movement leading peace and reconciliation in Sri Lanka, bringing about hope. In my time, I have also seen, in 2022, another non-violent youth-led protest, which is famously known as People's Uprising Aragalaya, where a lot of young people led that protest, but obviously other generations joined, and it became a whole nation leading this, where we asked for system change, where the president of the country had to step down. And a couple of months ago, we have a completely new government, a lot of new people in the parliament. So why we work with youth is, in this context, over 48% of the population is people under the age of 30. What we make out of these people is a generation that's choosing to be a part of the solution, that's just not going to let the hatred of the past control the present and grow in the future.